God saved the best portion for last, specifically for you. He thought you was missing out. God was just testing you, and God was testing them as well to see if they would help you when you were in need. But in the process, the Most High was developing you, the fruits of the Spirit, testing you. Now they're active. God made sure that he saved the last portion for you because you know exactly what to do with it. It's a portion that you've never had and a portion that you've always asked for when it comes to your spiritual essence, when it comes to your love, when it comes to your peace, when it comes to your happiness, when it comes to your kingdom spouse, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your foundation. You know what I mean? You weren't asking for the negative things, the materialistic things. You weren't asking for lustful things. You weren't asking for the things that were going to tear you down. You're asking for things to build. You wanted to build to help build onto the kingdom of God, help God's people. You know what I mean? And that was with your mission. That was you using what you had no choice else but to use, which was your gifts and talents, because these jobs and these certain situations that put you in survival mode could never hold up the space to help you elevate or rise to get to where you want it to be anymore. You're gradually ascending. You've gradually ascended. You're going up, and these places cannot go with you. These places and people cannot go with you. They can't go to the table that God is serving specifically for you, because God heard what they said behind your back. God saw what they did. God saw how they treated you. And when they started to see God raise you up, they started to move fast and try to scatter, and all of a sudden started to want to be nice to you, wanted to treat you nice and well now, and treat you humane when they were treating you inhumane this whole time. It's like, nah, like, move out the way that God has been showing you, like you were doing, and let them deal with what it is that they've been reaping. You know what I mean? You're dealing with the harvest that you reaped. Now they have to deal with the harvest that they reap. It's not that they weren't planting good seeds. They were planting seeds, but they were seeds that were not of the Most High. And those seeds were aimed towards you. Look, a little beetle just flew past my face. A big one, though. At that can be a confirmation for somebody. Now they look like... yeah, on that ass. On that ass. Because that portion that God gave them and blessed them with, God, especially the closest people to you, just kick the keys. That can be a confirmation. But God created a table and prepared a table in front of them, for them in front of you, to see how they would treat you, to see if they would help you when you needed things. It didn't even have to be materialistic. It can be on a spiritual sense. It can be a love, you know what I mean? Compassion, understanding. But these people saw you and they looked at you like you were a peasant. They dismissed you. You know what I mean? They didn't want you to be in their presence once they felt like you were disposable. Once they felt like you didn't have anything to offer, when in fact God put everything that you had to offer on pause, because God wanted to see how, when you're well dried up, how they would treat you. You know what I mean? When you had crumbs, when you had nothing but crumbs, you were still feeding them, trying to feed them when they were at their lowest. Giving, hey, I got 6 crumbs. Here, take 3 of these. I take 3 of these. You know what I mean? And you were doing it from the kindness of your heart. But when it was time for them to split their bread, when it was time for them to help you out, God saw how they treated you. They dismissed you. They made it seem like you didn't mean anything. But they didn't realize that you're a child of the Most High. You're an earth angel. You're something that can't be touched. You're divinely protected from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. When you look at the birds, and they chirp and they get what it is that they need for the day. And that's what it is that God was doing for you. While you was operating off of your faith, while you was holding on to your faith, these people were looking and building jealousy and envy over you now. Even though you didn't have anything, they had everything but the fruits of the Spirit. You had the fruits of the Spirit. You had your creativity. You had your mind, body, and soul. You had your truth. You were speaking with compassion. You were convicting them while you were walking in your truth and in your light, while they were trying to downplay you as though you were nothing, because you had nothing physical to offer them. And boy, that plate that God made for you that saved you for last, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. You know, and you were the last. God intentionally put you last for a reason. even though in the image of God and with your gifts and talents, God always knew that you were first. God always knew that he was going to put you first in line because God saw your heart. When God created the beginning of time, God already weighed the scales of the people's heart. God already knew whose hearts were going to be, you know what I mean, put to the test. All of our hearts were put to the test. And God, that's why we were given free will. You know, I love you and welcome. My name is Ninth, founder of Ninth Cloud, a brand that focuses on creativity, leadership, and humanitarianism. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for the follow. If you like long form content like this, you can subscribe to me on YouTube. Link in bio. Just wanted to show y'all the fit check real quick. Everything that I wear is the brand, Ninth Cloud. What's so crazy about me building this brand is like so many people have tried to attack me and discourage me from doing it. But look, baby, we here and we here. Let's get back to the message. I'm so proud of you. All of these tests that you passed, knowing that God was your shield, knowing that God had you set the whole time, knowing that God was not going to forget about you. That faith is the very reason why God is building that table in front of these people. So you continue to move forward, continue to pass all of these tests, because soon you'll be sitting at the table, if not already. A lot of y'all have already been experiencing it. You know what I mean? Some of y'all social medias have been blowing up. God has been blessing some of y'all pockets. God has been activating some of y'all energy and allowing y'all to cross over to the new earth. I love you and continue to follow your dreams. You deserve it. Peace.